Hi everyone, welcome back to the Caistrology channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cailin, and today we're going to be looking at your October 2025 horoscope. You can watch your horoscope for your ascendant, sun, and moon sign. I do recommend that you watch all three if you've got the time, and this is a tropical Western astrology reading, just by the way. If you're wanting more regular astrological updates from me, then you can follow me on Instagram and or Facebook. It's the same handle, which is simply Caistrology. So a little bit of an update for you. I am going to be traveling for the whole month of October. So that means I'm not going to be available for private one-to-one astrological consultations. And just by the way, I'm a tarot reader as well. So I do offer tarot card readings. I'll be back in November if you're wanting to book in a private reading. So without further ado, let's get into your October horoscope. Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your October 2025 horoscope. On the 7th of October, Mercury is going to enter the sign of Scorpio. So basically, Mars is already here in Scorpio in your 10th house. And so with both Mars and Mercury transiting the very top of your chart, there's like this enormous focus on reinventing yourself in some way, shape or form. Why am I saying reinvent? It's because we are going to experience the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow period. So that won't officially start until much later in the month, but basically throughout the month of October and November, Mercury will spend a great deal of time at the top of your chart. So this is really about how you want to be perceived, what kind of legacy you want to create and leave behind. And so to me, it appears that many Aquarians are going through this period of a rebirth and, like I said, reinventing oneself. So on the 7th of October, we're also going to see a full moon in Aries taking place, and that will be occurring in your 3rd house. Now, this full moon in Aries is actually going to be conjunct the fixed star Alpheratz. So I repeat, this is at 14 degrees, and the 3rd house in astrology is associated with things like communications, writing projects, sales, marketing, plus our relationships with people like co-workers, friends, clients, and it also rules over siblings and extended relatives as well. So think like nieces, nephews, cousins, and whatnot. So this full moon in the 3rd house could indicate that you are releasing out into the world some kind of communications piece, or maybe you're launching a new business or a new service with your business or a new product that is for sale. But also this fixed star, in terms of what it represents, it's very much associated with freedom, liberation, plus victory and glory. And it's a very creative fixed star too. So this full moon in the 3rd house could indicate that you are maybe coming out on top in some kind of disagreement or conflict. And that could be something of a legal nature. Okay, so maybe this involves contracts somehow, or perhaps it's like someone at work that you don't get along with. And on a different note, maybe you are finishing up some kind of project and it's like a hard-won battle for you, and maybe it's taken a lot of energy and effort. For others of you, you could actually be closing down a part of your business or a service, like you're no longer offering that anymore, or maybe you're fulfilling some kind of contractual obligation and now you're experiencing freedom or liberation from what you may have considered to be like a burdensome relationship, contract, or agreement that you had with another person. So on a different note, the 3rd house is also associated with things like apprenticeships, licenses, diplomas, and let's say short form education content. So some of you Aquarians could be receiving your license or successfully completing an apprenticeship or a diploma or some kind of qualification. Maybe you've been working on a workshop or course or a course. So maybe you are successfully completing a course and it's ready for sale, or perhaps you're giving an important talk, speech, or like I said, participating in a workshop of sorts. Okay, so I repeat, that is on the 7th of October to be specific, but this full moon energy could be with you even 1 to 2 weeks before the full moon and 1 to 2 weeks after. Okay, so on the 13th or the 14th of October, depending where you live in the world, Venus is going to enter your 9th house. Okay, so Venus entering Libra and being there until the first week of November, I beg your pardon, basically indicates where you can derive enjoyment and pleasure in terms of the chart. So the 9th house is related to travel. It's related to higher education, as well as belief systems and even things like counseling and coaching. So Venus transiting the 9th house could see you having positive experiences as it relates to international or even interstate travel, maybe learning new languages, or making friends with people from a different cultural background to you. And something to note is that within 24 to 48 hours of Venus entering your 9th house, Venus is actually going to make an opposition to Neptune in Aries in your 3rd house, plus a grand air sign trine. So what's going to happen here is Venus will trine Uranus in Gemini in your 5th house, and not long after Pluto stations direct in Aquarius at 1 degree in your 1st house, Venus will also trine Pluto as well. Okay, so you're experiencing a trine between the 9th, 5th, and 1st houses. And so this is really positive for you in terms of seeing your vision for your future, travel, education, communications, and really just honing in on what do you derive joy and pleasure from. And also this could indicate love and romance, and maybe this is with someone who has the same beliefs as you, or maybe you meet them while you're traveling or they're traveling, or you could meet them in some kind of educational setting. That's another way that could be playing out. And so really this can lead to a big breakthrough if you own your own business in love, romance, and dating, in even publishing, because the 9th house is associated with publishing and import and export. So there could even be a big breakthrough if you're learning another language, right? So definitely pay attention to what is transpiring between about the 13th and even like the 16th, maybe even 17th of October. Feel free to drop me a comment in the comment section below if there's something positive that's happening in your life. Maybe this is to do with getting pregnant, or some kind of positive development in the life or the lives of one of your children, or even your relationship with one of your children as well. So on the 20th of October, Mercury is going to form a conjunction with Mars in Scorpio at 19 degrees in your 10th house. So we're also going to have a grand water trine in the month of October. So we've got Mercury and Mars in Scorpio in your 10th house, trining Saturn in Pisces in your 12th house. Sorry, not your 12th house, your 2nd house. And also trining Jupiter in Cancer, and that is in your 6th house. So there may be a positive development for you in the way of health issues, in the way of overcoming unhealthy habits, whether that's to do with like procrastinating, laziness when it comes to work, or this could be to do with addictions or unhealthy habits in other areas of your life. On a different note, for some of you, this could indicate that there's a breakthrough coming through in terms of your public status, you reinventing yourself and your career, your vocation, and feeling like you have some kind of clear direction in terms of the legacy that you want to create and that you want to leave behind. And also because of the trine to Saturn in Pisces in your 2nd house, maybe this is indicative of you having a breakthrough financially speaking, or in the way of resources and valuables. And if it's not on a material level or plane, so if it's not to do with finances and resources, then maybe this is to do with like a positive elevation in terms of self-worth and self-esteem. Okay, so on the 21st of October, we're going to see a new moon in Libra at 28 degrees in your 9th house. So new moons are all about a new chapter taking place, planting those new seeds, and basically setting our intentions for what we want to welcome into our lives. So because 28 degrees is associated with family, property, living situation, ancestry, and lineage, some of you Aquarians could be taking an interest in family that resides overseas, so your ancestry and your lineage, especially if your family immigrated to the country where you currently live. That could have been years back, right? And now it's like, okay, let me dig further into this. Or maybe you're wanting to learn the language that was like the mother tongue of your ancestors, or even like just like your parents, right? So on a different note, maybe this is related to pursuing a visa application, permanent residency, citizenship, or if we put that all to the side, this could be to do with what you want to learn, what you want to study. So maybe you have high hopes and big dreams for some kind of higher education program, and you're wanting to pursue that, enroll, and hopefully, fingers crossed, astrology, God's willing, get accepted into that. Some of you may be quite interested in politics, and maybe you're wanting to become more interested in politics with this new moon in your 9th house. In any case, it is really positive because this new moon is trining you, Aquarius. It is going to be making a tight T-square. So it's opposing Chiron in Aries in your 3rd house, and it is squaring Jupiter in Cancer in your 6th house. Okay, so there may be some pushback here, there may be some resistance, maybe that's from friends, maybe that's from siblings or extended relatives, or perhaps there's just like a bit of navigating to do in terms of getting time off from work or from your other commitments that you have. Maybe you have work projects that you need to close out, and if you have employees, maybe this is related to them somehow. So for example, if you're wanting to travel, maybe it's like, well, who is going to take my classes while I am away? Or maybe you're trying to plan some kind of travel trip and it does involve your work somehow, and there's just pieces that need to be moved around the chessboard, so to speak, in order for you to actually be able to make this travel trip work. Okay, so of course there are other ways that this can play out, but I'll just park that with you for now. On the 22nd of October, Neptune is going to re-enter the sign of Pisces. So Neptune will be in Pisces at 29 degrees, literally for 3 months. So this is until the end of January 2026. Neptune is closing out a 14-year transit, and it is also closing out a 165-year cycle, because that is how long it takes for Neptune to transit through all 12 zodiac signs. So what this means for you on a personal level, Aquarius, is that there's a chapter which is closing out for you as it relates to your personal income, your savings, expenses, spending habits, or maybe resources, assets, investments, or maybe your personal values in general, or even like your self-esteem, your self-worth. And so these next 3 months, there may be some kind of like inner conflict that you have to overcome in order to elevate your sense of self-worth, your self-esteem. That is not to say in any way, shape, or form that you have low self-esteem or low self-worth, but it's more just like, how can I basically feel as confident and comfortable in myself as possible? So there may be a really core readjustment of your priorities in life that go beyond finances and resources, because the 2nd house is genuinely about what do I value, right? And because Neptune at 29 degrees is very much to do with surrender, sacrifice, and like a divine letting go, some of you may be called to do a massive clear out of your possessions and valuables. I'm selling this off, I'm donating this, I don't want this in my house, this has bad energy, bad juju, you know. So there can be like a full recalibration process that you go through in terms of like the laundry list of all of your valuables and possessions. And the second house is also to do with storage and our wardrobe. So this can be wanting to really present entirely differently. Okay, so on the 23rd of October, Scorpio season is going to begin. So the sun will start transiting Scorpio, where we've still got Mercury and Mars, right? So now we've got 6 planets in water signs activating your second house, your 6th house, and your 10th house. So without a shadow of a doubt, between, let's say, the 23rd of October and the 29th of October, there is this reorienting and recalibration process that I think all Aquarians are going to go through. And it's shining a spotlight on what are my values. And then with the 6th house, it's like, what are my habits? What am I doing every day? What am I doing in my life? And is it supportive of me achieving my goals and objectives, which is where we see that activation to the top of your chart with 3 planets in Scorpio. So it's like, is this serving my higher purpose, my higher self? Am I going to be able to achieve my big goals and objectives? Am I going to be able to answer the call in terms of my life purpose or creating the legacy that I want to leave behind? So I think that there's going to be, you know what, a lot of answers that are coming through for you in, let's just say honestly, like the last 10, even 11 days of October. So lastly, Aquarius, on the 29th of October, Mercury is going to enter the sign of Sagittarius in your 11th house. And so we will well and truly be in the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow period. And that's actually pretty much from about the 20th/21st of October. So in November, Mercury is going to retrograde from Sagittarius at 6 degrees back to Scorpio at 20 degrees. And that is basically indicative of whatever's taking place in October, these realizations, these insights, this desire to reinvent yourself, to rebrand, to maybe upskill or refine whatever it is that you're doing and how you're presenting yourself, whether that's professionally or just in terms of like, who am I? All of that is going to be unpacked and unraveled and refined during the month of November. So Aquarius, that's all I have for you for your October horoscope. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook if you're wanting to see more regular updates from me. I post about the aspects that are happening, the transits and so on. And so I'm very active there. Anyway, enjoy your month ahead and I will see you guys next time.